Flores. He is an entrepreneur, an author, a coach, runs a non-for-profit organization, and also looks very excited to open up a few more businesses here in the near future. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing pretty good, Chris. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. Why don't you share with all these viewers and all the people listening in, who Adam Flores is and what entrepreneurship and everything you've done has done for you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, a little bit on my background. I actually grew up in Southern California, and my past has really shaped my entrepreneur journey. I grew up, raised pretty much by a single mom, and she worked really hard to raise my brother and I. Saw her working 2 and 3 jobs, and so I grew up really fast, and I saw the need to have financial stability because I remember just as a kid, seeing her sometimes cry over not even knowing how she was gonna be able to pay the bills for the month. And so at an early age, I just made a decision that I never wanted my family to have to worry about finances. And so at 18 years old, I got started in my first business, and I really struggled. I got involved in in network marketing, and for the first 3-4 years, I didn't really see any success. I was doing all the right things that they teach you to do, but what I did do is I began to really invest in my education. I invested thousands and thousands of dollars to learn from some of the top guys in the industry on how to really grow your business. And so by the time I was 23, 24, I had built a massive business online in my direct sales business. And as I started to meet more influential people, as I became successful, I really opened up my eyes to all the other opportunities that are also out there. So I began to, get into, online marketing and internet marketing. And so now I have multiple companies that, I've been able to start, and also a nonprofit organization. So entrepreneurship, what it's done for me is it's really given me a lot of options to, to do certain things that most people wouldn't get the opportunity to do because I make my own schedule, because, I have that freedom. I'm able to start nonprofits. I'm able to be more involved in my community. I'm able to be more present with my family. I'm able to do so many cool things that growing up, I never got to see, my family and my parents do. And so it's just given me a really unique lifestyle that I'm just so grateful for. But it wasn't easy, but it's been worth it. And I'm still on that journey. Chris, you and I are both still really young. So even though our success, we could say we have some success, it's still relative in comparison to how much more there is out there to do.
Oh, 100%. You hit the nail on the head with that. And going back to what you said about, investing in yourself, I feel like, a lot of entrepreneurs need to invest more into themselves than they do in their business. And when it comes to that, obviously, I'm really big on mentorship, being mentored, and really having someone there where you can bounce questions off of them and get advice from them. So really, who do you take advice from? I know that you have actually sat down and met with and been mentored by some top people in the entrepreneurship industry.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think I've been mentored by so many different people, but I think, when it comes to finding a mentor, I think it's important to really, get a specific mentor for the niche that you're in, because there's generalized knowledge, and Think and Grow Rich talks about this, where you can get, just like a general, knowledge on a certain topic. And then there's that specific knowledge or specialized knowledge. And that's where you're going to get the most breakthrough. And I see a lot of people when they look for a mentor or coach, they go to, just somebody just because they're big. And that's not necessarily the best way sometimes. Sometimes it's best to go to the person who has the results that you want and then really learn from them. And sometimes they don't have the biggest name, but they're killing it at what they do, if that makes sense. And so as far as people I've personally learned from, I have learned from, Brendan Burchard. I've learned from Chalene Johnson and Lewis Howes, and of course, Gary Vee, and just a lot of the, top guys in the industry. But to be honest, I've learned a lot more from coaches that aren't necessarily in the public spotlight, but they invest so much more into me because they have that extra time to invest in me as well. So, as you go out, if you're, my advice to people who are looking for mentors, find somebody who has the heart to help you, the time to help you and who has the skills to help you. To me, that's the best coach, because sometimes the guy at the top, he has a great skill set, but he doesn't have the time. And so many people are always, clawing at him. And so he doesn't have necessarily, some people are coming at him. He doesn't have the time to really mentor you the way that is going to help you get transformation.
100%, 100% on that. So pretty much when it comes to starting a business, especially for entrepreneurs out there, a lot of people want to start their business. They want to get started, they want to do something, but at the same time, there's something holding them back, and that something is doubt, the doubt of fear, or the fear of failure, excuse me. Now, was there any point in your entrepreneurship roller coaster that there's a point where you doubted yourself? And if there was, how did you overcome it, and how did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't grow up in like an entrepreneur environment. My parents weren't entrepreneurs. My environment wasn't business minded. I had a lot of limiting beliefs. If you could imagine, my first job was a dishwasher at a golf course, right? So if you could imagine the transformation I had to go through, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I had fears, I had doubts, I had worries. What transformed my life is getting involved into a business that had an environment that changed the way that I thought, and there's a quote that says environment is actually more important than willpower. And I'll say it again, environment is more important than willpower. And so the environment completely shaped the way that I started to think, and it changed my mindset, and it built my confidence, because I got around a lot more like-minded people who were all going in one direction, and they poured a lot of belief in me when I didn't even believe in myself. And I think that's really the first step, is to find a group of people who are willing to mentor you, because you can try to do it on your own. But Albert Einstein said this, he said, you can't solve a problem in the same conscious in that it was created. So if you have a broke mindset, you can't undo that mindset if you're staying in your own mind. You need to be around other people that can help you get that mentality. And it starts off with books, and it starts off watching YouTube videos. That's the environment you create on your own. You start to hear, because our faith comes by hearing, and to be able to transform our mind, we need new information. So what I did is, I didn't have that circle immediately, because you don't just wake up one day and you have this like amazing group of friends that are encouraging you. I woke up with listening to YouTube videos and reading a lot of books. And that really started to change my mindset. And that's because I had a mentor tell me what to read and what to watch. And then I started to pick up things on my own, So that's the very first place to start if someone's a brand new entrepreneur. It starts with the mindset, because if you get success too fast without that mindset, you won't be able to hold it anyways. So really building a foundation. And I'm sure you can agree with me, that mindset is everything when you start a business.
I do it. And that's exactly why I decided to create BeYOU, because I want to help young entrepreneurs and people from different industries really, get that mindset switch and really, trigger their brain to go out there and help them notice that they can achieve whatever they really want to achieve. I know it sounds really cliche, but it's 100% true. And, when you talked about books, is there any books, or are there any books that you recommend to a newest person becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, well, of course, you have your fundamental, Think and Grow Rich, of course. That's like the basic one that everyone always, shares. And that's really foundational. That's a must read. Of course, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrants. Those are great books. My personal favorite books, because at the end of the day, business is about people, right? It's
Right.
about people and how we can help people get to where they want. And the more people that we can help, the more successful we're going to become. And so one of my favorite books is Launching a Leadership Revolution. It's actually by Chris Brady and Orrin Woodward. It's just one of the most fascinating books to me. Book is amazing. I really like The Magic of Thinking Big too, as a starter book. It really gets you in the mindset of seeing more for yourself.
I ever read.
First book you ever read? Yeah, it's solid.
First book I ever read. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's a great one. And then I think recently Simon Sinek, came out with his book, Start With Why. That's another great book as well. It's a foundational book. And then as you get more advanced, you can start to get more into specific books that tailor to your niche. But yeah, I think those are some good starting books. don't want to overwhelm them with a fat list, you know?
Definitely. When it comes to online marketing, I think, I mean, today, I always say today, we're shifting to the online, wave. And if you catch that wave, then you'll obviously, cash out, in my opinion. And I think that's something you're doing very well. And especially for a lot of people who are doing online sales and stuff like that, I just want you to pretty much show everyone how big the online world is right now, but not only right now, but where it's going to be.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you could see in the background, I have this, welcome to a new era of opportunity. So it's a big opportunity right now to this online space. I think that so many people, though, they see that it's really crowded, and they see like, wow, there's so many people online. Where am I going to fit in to this space? Because I think everybody knows that it's big. I mean, everybody knows that the internet is not the wave of the future. It is the future, right? We're in it right now. And so it's just a matter of giving people that confidence, in my opinion, to let them know that there's still a lot of room here, because what makes you unique is your story in this space. That's what makes you unique, is your individual experiences in town. So if anyone's, listening to this, I want them to know that regardless of, regardless of how many, great people are online and how many people are having success, there is still like a ton of room, and 3 billion more people are about to come online in the next few years. So right now has never been there's never been a better time to really position yourself. And what's cool is a lot of the tools that, are that used to be really expensive to grow, a business online are now so affordable. And you don't even need to be this technology savvy person anymore. It's like you copy, you click, you paste here, and you have a full website ready to go. And all the tools that years ago used to cost thousands of dollars to have, it's like pennies now to have an online setup. And the cool thing is, after you get going for a while, you really get to reach an amazing audience. And I call it the laptop lifestyle. You get to take your laptop anywhere, and it's just this amazing lifestyle you have to reach, so many people. So there's somebody out there, I believe, that is going to relate to your story and your experiences versus relate to my story or Chris's experiences. And that's what is cool about this social space, is that there's room for everybody, because there's a different audience for everybody. And so people are waiting on you to really share your story so that they can be inspired to finally step out of their box. So just a little word of encouragement for people listening. Yeah, go after it. Get in the space as soon as you can. Don't wait.
Definitely. So I know that, especially today, just to tie into the last question, today, a lot of people are scared to start a business because they don't have enough money for employees or, a storefront or something like that. And I think that's where the online, businesses are helping a lot of young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs all around the board go out there and achieve those goals. Now, I was watching one of your videos, I think it was last week or earlier in the week, and it had the story on Mark Cuban and when Mark Cuban got started. So why don't you share the story on how Mark Cuban got started with his business? If you guys aren't familiar with Mark Cuban, he's a billionaire. He's on Shark Tank. He's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and in my opinion, I think one of the best entrepreneurs in today's day and age.
Yeah, definitely. Mark Cuban is one of my favorites. And one of the reasons I love Mark Cuban is he's such a visionary. And what he did is he had this vision to start this broadcasting company. And he didn't have money at the time to, build it the way he wanted to build it. He didn't have the cash flow. So what he did is he got a group of his friends together and he said, look, guys, he goes, I have this idea to start a company called broadcast.com. And we're going to be the first company to take basically sports broadcasting and make it live so people can stream it on the web. He says, so I can't pay you right now. He says, so we're going to work for free together. And, if this thing works, we'll all become millionaires. He goes, if it doesn't work, then we'll walk away as friends. And so that whole year, people were getting paid with like sodas and tacos. Like he bought their lunch. He took care of, their food for lunch breaks, and he brought snacks in the office and things like that. But he didn't he didn't pay them, with cash or checks or anything like that. It was just simply enrolling them into his vision to be able to be is like a purpose-driven group of people that were just so focused on the outcome of what they wanted. And Mark Cuban casted that vision, and from that company launched. It went public, and every single person that was there became a millionaire. And so it's just a fascinating story of walking in faith and being okay with failure. And people understand failure, but you have to be the leader that, if you want to be successful at a high level and grow a team, you got to be the leader that steps out in faith and let people follow you into that vision. And if you're giving it your best as the leader of that, business or organization, then no one's going to hold you accountable if it doesn't work. People are very understanding. People want it to work just as much as you do, but they understand if it doesn't. So your job as leaders is to go out there, walk in faith, and get people around your vision. John Maxwell calls it the law of buy-in, getting people to buy into your vision. And then from there, people are amazing. I just want to share this really quick too, Chris. Launching my new company, I learned so much more about people. I've been in all the businesses I've always been in, have always been around building teams. And, starting my own company has been a different experience than, direct sales and network marketing. And one of the things I realized is that in the beginning, just like Mark Cuban, I practiced it. I see if I can build a team around a vision. I didn't have, I didn't want to put them on payroll yet. We wanted to keep the overhead low and keep the risk low, right? And so I got my team to buy into the vision of what we were doing. And I learned so much more about people than I ever have. I have one of the best teams in this entire, in my business. I have an amazing team. And they work so hard, more than people that have been paid to be on my team, more than people who've earned money to be on my team. They work for free. And in the beginning, they're working for free, working way harder. And I asked myself, this doesn't make sense. How could people work so much harder when they're not even getting paid yet? And I realized that, it comes down to the fundamental principle is that inside of all of us, we all want to be a part of something bigger than us. We all want to be a part of something that is going to do something big. We all want to be great. And we all want to work together as a team. And when you create that atmosphere as a leader, it creates this environment where people just work really hard to make that vision come true. And so, now it's cool. A lot of my guys are, getting paid now, and we're growing our company, and it's just been cool to see. But in the very beginning, they had to work for free. We all were working for free. It was a startup, and so it's just really cool. So if you're starting a new idea out there, just know that if you have a strong vision and you cast that vision to your team, people will actually follow if you share it with them.
100% right. Focus on the vision, and the numbers are going to come along with it. I think way too many people worried about the numbers. Okay, I have to do this in order to get there. You got to focus on the vision, and that story with Mark Cuban and with yourself is a perfect example of that saying. And that kind of ties me into perfectly is, I was going to ask you, why don't you go ahead and explain your new business, what it's about, and maybe, some of the books that you have out, your nonprofit organization, maybe a few things about you, so we can learn and kind of, do our research and check out your stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So I started this coaching business, online coaching business, and I have a program that's actually starting this June coming up. And I've just invested the last 6 months getting ready to launch this specific program. And what we do basically is we teach people how to build an online business from scratch. And going through my journey, trying to learn how to build an online business was so tough because there's so many different people to learn from. And it seems to me like in this space that there's somebody who teaches this and there's somebody who teaches that. And then this person has an online course. And so we're all trying to learn, and it's kind of like taking all the little bits and pieces, and it's an expensive journey to really learn what you need to know to truly be successful. And so what I wanted to do is create a program where people can get involved, and it's a 12-month program, and we hold them by the hand basically step by step by step, and it's tailored around their goals, where they want to be, and we basically teach them how to make an income in their passion online, doing whatever it is they love. And so it sounds very cliche, but it's really, we have a gift as a team to do it. I've been coaching students now for the last couple of years, and to give you an idea, one of my students, she actually had this passion she wanted to make a living swimming with dolphins, right? When I met her, she was a server out in Maryland, and now she's actually swimming in Hawaii with the dolphins and getting paid to do it. And so we're putting together a program now. She's made that dream come true for her. She loves it. Now she's like talking about other things. She wants to be a speaker. She wants to share her story. And so her life has completely transformed. And I have so many stories and stories and stories. And the reason why is because we really work to tailor our coaching to every individual's needs. And we have a team that helps them with all of the technical things that they need to know. We have a mindset coach. We have, coaching calls weekly, conference calls. It's just like the most amazing resources all in one place. So people don't have to go everywhere. I've already paid that price and invested tens of thousands of dollars to learn all this stuff, and been in business for 8 years now. So to be able to bring somebody in and walk them through that program, I'm just so excited to really bring it to the masses now.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I think that's really good what you're doing. I mean, you're helping out, a lot of people. I mean, you're helping them get through all the BS that, you went through, and that a lot of
exactly.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Exactly.
So what's it going to be called?
It's called the Business Club Academy. You see it there?
Oh, there we go.
There it is. Yeah, the Business Club Academy. So 12-month program. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to go through the next year and see all the stories that come out of it.
No, I appreciate that, definitely. Now, last question. If there are any tips or, just a tip of advice to an entrepreneur deciding to get started with their business. Obviously, they heard this podcast, they're watching this webinar. But what is the main thing that you would tell an entrepreneur getting started in the industry?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think success has order, okay? And there's a huge opportunity right now to do whatever it is that you love, right? Whatever it is you love. So if you're brand new, I think that the first thing that needs to happen is you need to have some financial stability from somewhere. Okay, so that means that if you're brand new, don't feel like you have to, quit your job in order to live this entrepreneur lifestyle. When you start, you need cash flow, you need stability. And so many people won't tell you that. They'll tell you to go quit your job and go right into your business. You need that stability to fund whatever it is that you're doing. And so that's my very first recommendation is keep your cash flow wherever it's coming from. And then the second thing is to really identify what it is that you want to do. And part of that is probably has to do with your experiences, what you're good at, what you feel gifted to do, and find something in that niche that, you would like to pursue. And then once you identify what that is, find somebody who's doing it. And this is so important right here. What you need to do is you need to look at their lifestyle. You need to look at their lifestyle and think about, is this the life that I would like to have in the future? Because just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that it's a good idea to go and start a business in it. And here's a great example of that is a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. There's this girl who's making apple pies, right? And she's really good at it. And everybody's telling her, you should start an apple pie business. You should start an apple pie business. So she opens up an apple pie business. And before you know it, she's working the cash register. She's doing the accounting. She's doing all of the tedious work that comes with running a small business. And before you know it, she doesn't even have time to bake pies anymore, the very thing that she loved, because she got pulled away from it. And so when you start a business, you need to look at the person's lifestyle and saying, are they really doing what I want to do? And then do they really have the lifestyle that I want to have? And if you can find that model, that really helps in making a decision, because you don't want to get and start a business that owns you. You want to be able to own it. And then once you say, okay, that's the lifestyle I want, the next question to ask yourself is, okay, am I going to be fully committed to endure through the entire process? Because entrepreneurship is different. You don't get paid every 2 weeks. You don't get paid on Fridays. It's you work on Saturdays, you work on the weekends, you work sometimes 40, 50, 60 hours up front every single day, week, to be able to get your idea out there. So there's a lot more sacrifice and commitment that needs to go into making that journey happen. And there's a book out there called The Dip. It's by Seth Godin. He talks about this very concept that when you start a project, you start here, and when you're going to start a business, you start spending more money, you start spending more time, your investment goes deeper, and it is a sacrifice that has to be made a price. He says, if you quit at the bottom of that, he says, it actually will leave you worse off, because now you have less money, you have less confidence to start the next thing, and you end up in a mess because you didn't finish what you set out to do. He says, so anytime that you start a new business, you want to make sure that you make the commitment to go through the dip with however hard it is. You keep going through that till you get to the other side. And so that's the commitment that you need to make with yourself once you identify that business you want to do. And then the last thing is you make sales right away in whatever business you're doing. So many people, they want to, plan it all. They want to create this like fancy, business model or infrastructure. They want to learn it all before they go do it. There's so many things that they procrastinate because they're trying to build something without any customers yet. So my recommendation is to go out, get customers first, make pre-sales for your business. And that should be the first step once you know what you want to do. And then you're going to learn what your customers need. You're going to learn the skills to your business. And then now you have a better idea on how to position your business. So, meaning you know how to position your website, you know how to position your infrastructure, you know how to position everything needed because you've already had experience working with, those customers. So, and then you have the revenue coming in, right? So you should always have money coming in from your customers before you go out and spend all this money trying to make a business work. See if the customers actually want what you have to offer. And so, so those are just some advice for brand new entrepreneurs starting. Get stability. Identify the lifestyle that business will bring you, and then be able to decide what you want to sell and do some research on it. Make the commitment to stick all the way through and make some sales right away.
Definitely. I just to hit on one thing that you said. And, there's a quote out there. It says, entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week for themselves so they can avoid working 40 hours a week for somebody else. And I think that's huge, is that, yes, it's going to take time and effort, but exactly what you said at the beginning of the interview, it's all worth it. But
absolutely.
Sorry, before we sign off here, I pretty much want you to tell everyone what iMob means.
Yeah, so it's Adam iMob Flores. It stands for On My Own Boss. And so I actually started a movement when I was 22 called the On My Own Boss movement, and it actually went pretty viral on social media, and it helped me grow my direct sales business to massive organization. And so yeah, and my book that's going to be coming out soon. Well, I have it written. I'm going to be publishing it. It talks about starting movements online. So when that comes out, Chris, I'll let you know. Yeah, definitely. So.
Well, Adam, man, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your advice, your insight. Guys, definitely check out his Facebook, Adam iMob Flores. We're going to be posting his social media down below and pretty much all of his, everything that he has to offer. But Adam, I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon, man.
All right, Chris. Take care, man.